My name is Aaron Choulai. I am a pianist and composer and the current artistic director of the Australian Art Orchestra. The Australian Art Orchestra is an ensemble and it's an organisation. Its primary focus is to create new works for the ensemble. We commission and we collaborate to create borderless music that speaks to the diversity of communities and practices that we have in Australia. New work is an update on who we are and expresses an updated version of what our society is. The creation of new art is equally important to the evolution of who we are as people and how we live together. We use improvisation as a tool to connect ourselves to one another and to tell the story of who we are, how we got here and where we're going.
I think improvisation is a really strong way to bring together musicians from any background, any culture, any age, and come together and create.
Improvisation is sort of like a lingua franca that musicians can use to communicate across all sorts of barriers. I've recently just returned to Australia to undertake the role as artistic director for the Australian Art Orchestra. I was born in Papua New Guinea to a Papuan Motuan mother. My father is Australian. I was born and grew up in Port Moresby. Part of what I've always been interested in is making music that incorporates music from Melanesia. I am very interested in expanding the vocabulary of what Australian improvisation is to a regional vocabulary, incorporating the Asia-Pacific and other languages, other ways of thinking about rhythm, harmonic approaches, form into the works that we make. I've just moved back here after living for 15 years in Japan. I found myself getting more involved with the hip-hop community and more involved as a producer. I think for art music to maintain its relevance, it needs to grow in the way that Australia is growing. It needs to change in the way that music is changing. It's really important that art music starts finding new avenues of experimentation in other genres like hip-hop. Cross-cultural collaboration is important for the Australian Art Orchestra because it allows us an opportunity to express more broadly what music is here and what society is here now. It's one of the only organisations that I think has the history and experience in how to approach cross-cultural collaborations in a real meaningful way and how to really connect what we do as Australian improvisers when collaborating with people who practice music from other cultures. If real, true reconciliation is going to happen in this country, we need to explore the music and the culture of First Nations artists. When Paul Grabowsky started this ensemble, he knew how important First Nations music was. He made a very conscious decision at the time, when I think a lot of people didn't understand, to embrace, explore and connect First Nations communities and music.
Like if I'll come up with orchestra on stage, the Rocky is still there. Pulling everybody, making everybody together, one big family. And we're trying to pass it on who the next can run this song or this collaboration together and like sharing with lots of people or white people. Sound like I'm doing this. I'm passing on.
We have the First Nation Artist in Residence program, which is a collaboration with the Melbourne International Jazz Festival, where every year we appoint a First Nations artist to write a new work. There's a professional development component to that program.
The inaugural recipient was Amos Roach, and then the second recipient was Brenda Gifford, and now we've got Bumpy.
I'm really excited to introduce you all to Bumpy.
To give a little bit of context for you, my name is Bumpy and I'm a proud Noongar woman, but I was born and raised on Gunai Kurnai country, which is so-called Gippsland. And this song is particularly about the yearning of home.
associate artist role for the AO is a 1-year position as part of the Pathfinders Music Leadership Program. And this role is an opportunity for a future music leader to come into the organisation and work 3 days a week on salary, learning different skills in administration, production, grant writing, skills that are actually really difficult to learn in a tertiary institution or on your own.
The Australian Art Orchestra has created a language of improvisation and composition that is really unique to this country and its people and its practices. There's no other ensemble that sounds like it. There's no other ensemble that is a tool to celebrate culture in the way that AO has since 1994.
人混みの中何を見てろ雑音の中何が聞こえろ目を閉じて真実を秘めろ